I was from a very simple background of manual labourers. I think a lot of people are getting anxieties. We're not really sure where they're coming from. Maybe it's advances in technology, people dissociating more and more from their reality. People wanted to know who they are. So I guess, I don't know, mental health, identification, identity, spirituality, that's a part of it. Who are you? Where are you going? Where have you come from? Stereotypes are not necessarily good. They lose the individual. And I think getting back to individuality is a really important thing for everybody.
Each week I seek out individuals who are chasing and achieving their own goals on their own terms. Each have their own individual motivation, focus and passion. Their stories will change your perspective on what is possible, open your eyes to what real people are doing, how they're doing it, and hopefully inspire you to do what you want to do on your terms.
I did the psychology and criminology degree. From then on, again, I had my work experience. I went to the London College of Clinical Hypnosis, and they had a basic certificate, which was, I think, 4 months, I think it was at the time. So it was a weekend every 4 months. So I went there and did that. And then I grew the skills, more confident in the skills, and I went back and did a whole year to do the postgraduate diploma. I was from a very simple background of manual labourers, and men would work in the factories and discuss tattoos and footballs and things like that, and have children themselves by the time they were 18, and I really didn't fit that template, and I couldn't really relate to it. In life, I started off sort of really down and out in a regular job, working in a warehouse, and feeling that that wasn't the right sort of place for me to be. And I didn't really know where I was going. And then a friend of mine said, you should look into psychology. And I thought, that would be really cool, actually. And I looked at the literature, and I looked at it, this is far too complicated for me to just sign up. I can't just sign up. I said, you can, just go and sign up. So I went to my local college, and within an hour I was signed up to do some access courses. Then I went to university. I completed my psychology and criminology degree. From there, I chose to work with children with learning difficulties, that sort of thing. And then I noticed they had anxieties as well. And I really got into that. I kind of related to that sort of thing. And so I guess I really wanted to sort of branch out and look into that.
What kind of people do you work with at the moment?
At the moment, I work with adults with addictions, anxieties, depression, chronic pain as well.
Wow. And how do you help them address those things?
We discuss the idea that there is a subconscious, and that subconscious is there to help them. However, there may have been something that went wrong, that the subconscious misunderstood, or maybe you're not listening to what your body wants to tell you. So we try and rebuild that connection, the communication, between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And when we can do that, it's fascinating how many people are sort of strong-minded and don't believe in that, and no, that's not going to happen, and you see them stuck in cycles. So it's really great when they can come to you and say, I think there's something I need help with. And they sort of confess. They sort of take off that stereotype, that mask, and they say, there's something there. It's not working out. Being who I am is not working out. You need to help me.
Wow. And how do you, I guess, what's the process? So how do you enable them to do that?
Firstly, it's them seeing me. They're seeing how I react or possibly don't react to their, to their situation in a non-judgmental fashion. So they're okay about it. So, okay, let's see a little more. Let's show a little more. What can you do with this? And I think it's really just showing. I think your dedication and your honesty, your genuineness to want to help, shines through.
If someone came to you and said, what do you do with no knowledge of anything?
We communicate to your subconscious, and we check what's wrong, what's going on with you, and see if we can ask your subconscious to resolve the issue or to remove it if it's no longer necessary. These hypnotic tools, So I use, I guess firstly you would use sort of positive, unconditional positive regard. So you're showing you're very open, non-judgmental. Your listening skills will pick up on words they use. So then you can use them back to them. Choose the words to avoid using. And you get them to trust you, to be comfortable enough with you, to close their eyes and relax, whilst I then, sitting in my chair, speak to their unconscious mind about the situation they've come to see me about, and whether we can resolve this together. It's getting the confidence of the subconscious to come out.
What kind of results have you seen with your clients that you've had so far?
So far, the results I've had, I don't want to use the word amazing, but it's kind of like I'm surprised how well they work. Because you understand it, you train in it, you practice it, and then when you see it happen and they walk out, you want to follow them to make sure, to see how their lives have changed, because it's so amazing. And it's not really me that does the work, it's really them, it's all them. It's just they allow themselves to relax, and the idea and opportunity to change. They don't need to be that way. They can change. There are opportunities, there are options and different choices. And it's very simple. It's kind of like calming somebody down and asking them a very simple A, B, C question. Where do you want to go from here? Is here the next step? Well, there's the next step. Okay, you go there and you start to feel better, much better about making that choice. So it's not really tools. I guess it's kind of just the language and just walking them confidently to the next step, to the right choices, and watching them bloom so quickly when they come.
What would you say was your best moment so far, just in life or career, but really that pinnacle of happiness or inspiration?
I think it was working with a young autistic boy who didn't show any signs of reciprocation in play. And we were outside, and I was a care worker at the time, and I wasn't seeing any development, any progress. And I jumped in the little play car, and I was like, push me. And he laughed, and he got up, and he went behind me and he pushed me. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, did he? Oh my God, I've got to tell somebody. I was like, yeah, dude, you get it? And that connection, that showed, really gave me evidence, although I'd read about it, that they are aware, that they are understanding. Until, experience it for yourself, it's just not the same. So having experienced that, it really showed me that people can connect and they are aware on another level. And that encouraged me forward. Because again, being from a background where people don't really speak about the feelings, and then working with individuals who aren't able to speak through various learning difficulties, you kind of see like a similarity there. So it was really amazing that an autistic child was able to finally allow themselves to express themselves to me. That was just one of the biggest connections I've made in my life, and that was just amazing.
It's incredible. And for you, how did you mentioned that you never thought you'd be able to do these kind of thing. What was it in you that made you think, was it an I'm not good enough, or it's too much? What was that element in there that made you feel that?
Yeah, I think part of it was that I wasn't good enough, and kind of sort of stepped me out of time, I suppose, or identification with anyone in my family or my peers around me. And the basic sort of failure, I guess, to be able to relate on that level would, in some way, sort of kind of grow in me to perhaps say, well, you can't do the basic stuff. What good are you?
What would you say to your childhood self? So the young boy who was working in the warehouse, who probably felt super lost, what would you say to him that you think could help him maybe ease the journey a little bit?
I think I would say just hang in. Just hang in there. If you live life long enough, you'll survive it, and you'll get there. You may not know what it is you want to get, but it'll be something amazing and exciting for you, just for you.
What did you find was your motivation throughout all of this? Do you have one driving force, or were there different ones?
Yeah, I think the selfish one, the obvious one, is to find out who I am and why am I here, why am I the way I am, why am I feeling, do I have a purpose? Kind of perhaps the main thing we all have in life. I think I was at the right time. I was always searching, knowing there was something wrong. There was a lot of questions I had about myself and I didn't understand. I think psychology, or the route to that, really helped answer a lot of those questions.
And where are you now? So how would you, if no one had ever met you before, how would you describe where you are right now in life?
It's like it's a new positive journey in my life, and the train's just leaving the station, and I'm really excited.
The books you've read so far, which ones have impacted you the most?
Yeah, The Mysterious Stranger. It was Mark Twain's last unpublished novel.
Okay.
And this was about a character named Satan, who had come to Earth during the witch trials era, that kind of era, and he befriended, I think, three young children, and sort of philosophized throughout the story about the nature of humankind and the absurdities they go through. My second was Mr. Grumpy, Mr. Men. My favourite characters from childhood. I love them. And Mr. Grumpy, he was just one of the characters I just really related to. Maybe because he's like a little rectangle, blue rectangle. I just loved the colour as a child. And then I reread the book. It's only 8 pages. And it's just hilarious to me how he's at home at night and he gets a book from a shelf and he sits down. And of course he does. He's a grown up, yes. He has a bookshelf, he has a house. He sits down, opens the book, and then tears out all the pages. I mean, it was just so funny. It was so controlled and calm. Presenting to be an adult in control, take a book from the shelf, sat down, and furiously tore it. The pages, destroying his own property. How absurd is that? And it made me laugh, man. And then, of course, he goes through the book, and Mr. Tickle comes along and tries to teach him a lesson, how to be nicer to people, and how to be less vigilant and that sort of thing. And I just love that. So that for me, I don't know. It was just something that always springs to mind when somebody says, "What's your favourite book?" Or I just think that one. I love that one. It's just got spirit in it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's fantastic, and it's great because it's often childhood books for me teaches the most about us. I think.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Just a good observation of how absurd an adult can be. Yeah, and they're really just children inside. Annoying children. You destroyed your book, you moron.